Today is Thursday, the 5th of December 2024. What are we up to today? Yes, that's right, we're off to the Christchurch railway station to get the train up to Kaikōura on the northeast coast of the South Island. It's only a couple of 100 kilometres and a bit over 3 hours on the train, so we have a whale watching cruise booked for the afternoon. The weather looks nice, so what are we waiting for? Well, that was a good start to the morning. Booked a taxi to get us to the train station for the train up to Kaikōura, and the taxi didn't turn up. And when we rang up, they sort of said, "Booking? What booking?" After having booked online. So that was our first experience with an Uber. So we're here at the station now. The train is actually still here, so we're booking in our baggage. Okay, baggage dump. Coffee machine. And we're in car B. I don't suppose it matters too much which side we get, because we're going to have mountains on one side and coast on the other. So this is the train. And we're going to be 3 hours from Christchurch up to Kaikōura today. And I think maybe train again tomorrow. After a short wait for everybody to get aboard, we're off. Time to sit back, relax and watch the world go by. One commonality between Australia and New Zealand, not the big white thing. One commonality between Australia and New Zealand, Bunnings. These really tall hedges are a characteristic of New Zealand, well, in the South Island at least. Something to do with the wind, I think. There's lots of hedges. Trying to find a spot. So, while all these hedges are going, a bit further down the track we should have mountains on one side and the ocean on the other, and the windows are disposed such that we should be able to see both sides, no problems at all. This is our overnight stop. Going to be moving on tomorrow. Pick our bags up and get separated. Alright, so the trains, and this is the coastal Pacific. No. Now I know they sort of complained a bit about the TV cartoon because it was Australian made, but look at the name. Teensy bit of snow still up there on the peaks. This is the beach at Kaikōura. I'm just about to head off on a whale watching cruise. Wind has definitely come up, so it might be a bit bumpy out there. Okay, after doing our fair share of waiting around, heading onto the whale watch boat. Okay, out in the deeper water. Got this sound effects microphone on, so I don't know how this is going to come across. It's pitching around a bit, so I'm doing this one hand because I'm standing on the rail. But we're just keeping an ear out with a hydrophone and an eye out for any blows to see if we can see any sperm whales, because one of the attractions of the whale watching at Kaikōura is that they get sperm whales who are just offshore hunting the giant squid in the offshore canyon here.
Never know, but you'll have a listen on that hydrophone and see if we need to keep moving another direction.
We are waiting and watching while one of the crew uses a directional hydrophone to find our target whale. They know from other sources that he's been down for about 40 minutes and the average dive lasts about 40 minutes to an hour. Evidently the whale's vocalisations give them some idea what it's doing. Also sorry about the poor audio. The water on the hull of the boat messes up the voice recording. Been down for about 40 minutes and I reckon the average dive is like 40 minutes to an hour. We need to shift again. We have an albatross keeping an eye on us to make sure we don't get up to no good. More listening to try and work out where the whale is. There is definitely one out there, but where is he? And yes, it's a he. There are not many sperm whales in the area and they've been observed and identified. The one we're after is a male called Mutti Mutti. He's close to the surface, so we all get put on watch. And we found him. Looks like he's just on the surface getting his breath and resetting for the next dive. Sometimes they see a whale on the surface casually snacking on a giant squid. So how do we know that this is a sperm whale? The dorsal fin and wrinkled back is a hint, but the biggest giveaway is the blowhole right on the front of the blunt head and tilted to the left. If you were up in the spotter plane, you'd be able to see the distinctive outline. The boat keeps a respectful distance from him and we are doing little more than drifting. I'm using a long lens to get these shots. As with any whale watching, a small pair of binoculars is handy if you're not taking photos. The boat is not allowed to approach the whale, but the whale can approach the boat if it chooses. Muddy Muddy here looks like he's just catching his breath to go down into the canyon again. Once he's replenished his oxygen stores, he'll take one last breath and go down again. At about 16 metres long and 45 tonnes in weight, he needs a lot of oxygen for his hour-long excursion into the depths. He may go down as far as 2 kilometres in search of a snack. He stays on the surface for about 10 minutes before he's all charged up and ready to go again. There are no other sperm whales around and we're not going to wait for the big lad to come up again, so we head over to have a look at some of his smaller brethren, a pod of dusky dolphins. These are smaller than the bottlenose dolphins I'm used to seeing in Australia. There's a lot of showing off going on, some tail slapping and lots of acrobatic leaps which are damn hard to pick up on camera. You only get a leap in progress or by accident. They make me a bit nervous as they crowd around the boat, even though we're drifting and the propellers are stopped. No, they're not being fed. You wind up wildly swinging the camera around to capture the action that's going on. It gets pretty hectic. Pretty hard. Behavior is very different from
Slide there for your team, last couple minutes. So yeah, make sure you're getting all those photos and memories.
Eventually they lose interest in us and move off. Time to head back to shore. Looks like he's heading back to Kaikōura, and we will be too in a minute. Got a pretty good trip. Tomorrow we will be back on the train, completing the journey to Picton, which is our last stop on the South Island. From Picton we'll be catching the ferry across the Cook Strait to Wellington on the North Island. The Cook Strait, named I believe after Captain James Cook, has a reputation of being a mini Drake passage with rough conditions often experienced. I'm hoping for a fairly smooth passage, but we'll have to see what the weather brings. What is it today? 6th of December, second part of our rail odyssey, going from Kaikōura up to Picton today. But as you can see, the sunny vistas of yesterday have disappeared, so we'll see how we go, whether it improves as we go further north or what. I'll just try and salvage the best footage I can for you. As I used to say on Ryan and Martin's Laughing, here comes the train. That was quite well keyed, wasn't it? Nice little intro piece. So yep, I'll picked in today. Sparrow start. The train's tracking along close to the coast here. We're coming up to that big Peninsula.
Leciliśmy taki w najmocniejszym momencie 312.
Except every time I try and get a picture of the hills, some big bank or something.
Najlepsze budynki budowy. Wszystkie. Jedna wielka budowa. Przez 40 minut.
Sort of dark grey beaches. Getting in, not used to that.
Mieliśmy taką
Shed load of driftwood as well. Some hardy surfers there.
metropolię. W wielkości prawie Polski. No.
For the first part of the trip, the train tracks along the coast. I'm not used to seeing these dark volcanic beaches with the kelp beds offshore. Another seal sat there. Yeah, they're just like dotted along individually. If I can pick one up on the video, I'll highlight it. There's seals out there. We just passed Nin's bin, which is like a little takeaway food. I suppose I've been spoilt by the seal colony in Namibia. And now if you haven't seen that video, you should go back. Shot of the train going around the bend. It's quite spectacular over there. I think this is a bit they put in all the videos. There's seals and tourists. Caught up with by another truck. One of the adventure parts of this rail trip is recalling that the track was closed for 2 years by the magnitude 7.8 Kaikōura earthquake in 2016. Sections of track were swept away by the landslides and several tunnels damaged. It's been rebuilt to resist such damage in the future, but who knows what geology will bring. Trout River check. I don't know what this river is, but it's just outside Sydney, so I'll look it up. How trouty does that look? The train traverses a pass in the hills that block our way north. That's the Waikarapi Lagoon off in the distance. Look it up later and tell you what it is. After a few scenic hours, we arrive at the outskirts of Picton. The town is located at the head of a fjord, Queen Charlotte Sound, and it's the terminus for the ferries that cross the Cook Strait. We pass behind houses as we approach the station. There isn't a lot of flat land to fit the town on. It's the end of our trip on the coastal Pacific. Off to pick up our baggage with the posh seats. Subway around here, so we can talk. And then off to find our accommodation, and then hopefully lunch. We head down to the ferry terminal to confirm our booking for tomorrow. It's right next to the rail station. I hope the sea conditions stay at calm or light for our trip tomorrow. And this fits in. I'm going to have people walk in front of me in a minute, so whale at the bottom and looks like a hunter at the top. It's the Inter-Islander ferry there that we'll be getting across to the North Island tomorrow. I was going to go down in the park there and get a picture, but I'm being dragged off in another direction. So Inter-Islander ferry's going now. Blue line. Further down the thing. And that will be us tomorrow. Nice tree in the way there, by the way. New position. It's not far to our hotel, so we walk it. On the way we see this magnificent Pahukatawa tree, also known as a New Zealand Christmas tree because they flower close to Christmas time. So that's pretty much it for our adventures in the South Island. We've been here for 10 days and it really isn't long enough to delve into the place. Tomorrow we get the ferry across to the North Island to continue our adventure there. That video will be delayed a bit as we're off on yet another adventure for a few weeks and video production will resume when we get back. No spoilers, you have to wait. But it may turn out to be a feast as I work on New Zealand North Island and our upcoming destination in parallel when I get back. See you in the next videos. Like if you think the vid's worthy, subscribe for notifications of new content and most importantly, keep safe.